March is Women's History Month, and this is day 19 of talking about strong women, women you need to know. Today we're going to talk about a Miss Eugeine, or Eugeine, depending on how you pronounce it, Clark. She was born May 4th, 1922 in New York. Her father passed away just before she was 2 years old, but her family remained in New York, where she went to school. She noted also that she was the only child in that entire school of Japanese descent. Her mother said that as she got older, she had to get creative with babysitting. So on the weekends when she had to work, she would drop Miss Eugeine off at the New York Aquarium, where she developed a love for water and sharks. She took that into adulthood and went on to become an ichthyologist, a word I'd never known before yesterday. In 1942, she graduated with her bachelor's in zoology. Her summers were spent studying at the University of Michigan Biological Station. She went on to become a chemist for a little while with the company, but decided she wanted to go on and get her graduate work done at Columbia. She applied there, but Columbia decided to reject her application because she might decide to have children and devote her time to motherhood and her children versus her scientific career one day. So they rejected her application. Because motherhood. Wow. Anyway, Miss Clark did not give up and ended up getting her Master of Arts in 1946 and her doctorate in zoology in 1950, both at NYU. Go NYU. During her studies, her research work was done at some pretty prestigious places, including the Scripps Institution of Oceanography in La Jolla, the American Museum of Natural History in New York, Woods Hole in Massachusetts, and the Lerner Marine Lab in Bimini. In 1949, working under the Office of Naval Research, she did some pretty amazing work at several different islands. And after completing her doctorate research, she got a Fulbright fellowship to go to the Red Sea coastline and do some work there. That led to her first book called Lady with a Spear, which was funded by 2 different fellowships she also received because her work was so amazing. In 1954, her book and her work gained the attention of Annie and William Vanderbilt. They had some property in Florida and decided that Miss Eugeine Clark needed her own marine lab, so they built her one. They moved it to a different property later on, and it became what is known as the Mott Marine Lab, which she founded, and the research there was like none other, and it is a pretty amazing place still today, as best as I can find out. 1962, she went back to do a little bit of work at the Red Sea once again. By 1966, she was teaching at City University in New York, and then by 1968, she was teaching she was an instructor at the University of Maryland, where she received 3 fellowships, 5 scholarships, and 6 medals for her amazing work, dealing with ichthyology, teaching us all about conservation and sharks and all kinds of fun things. She retired theoretically in 1999, but went on to teach at least 1 class each semester for a while. She returned to her Mott lab in 2000, where she continued her work, and she did, at the age of 92, did her last dive at 92, and that research was published before her death on February 25th of 2015. The work is still going on that particular dive and being studied as of the writing that I found anyway, but still continuing later on. She authored 2 books, Lady in the Spear and Lady in the Sharks, published 175 scientific articles, and was the subject of several other books. Her research on sharks is pretty much what we know about them today. She not only trained sharks, but she taught us that they were just the great big teddy bears of the ocean. As long as we paid attention to them, learned about them, and respected about them, they weren't dangerous and didn't need to be killed in mass like was happening. She taught us that they didn't have to be still, that they didn't have to keep moving to sleep, that they actually do, in fact, stay still. She discovered the Moses soulfish had a natural shark repellent and did research on that to find out could it be used for humans. Turned out it couldn't be. It was just a temporary shark repellent. She did over 72 dives herself, was on 200 field research expeditions, was help on 24 different television shows about the great big ocean, helped create the very first IMAX film. Wow. And she had 5 species of fish named after her. My goodness. She received during her lifetime 3 honorary degrees from the University of Michigan, Long Island, and University of Guelph. She is a member of the Florida Women's Hall of Fame, the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame. She wrote for and received many accolades from National Geographic, the Explorers Club, Underwater Society of America, and the Women's Divers Hall of Fame. And on May 2nd, 2022, the U.S. Postal Service released a forever stamp with her likeness in her gear and with a shark, just in time for her, what would have been her 100th birthday. So today, on day 19 of Women's History Month, we salute the most amazing Eugeine Clark. We salute you.